Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Chat with Amita, Sri Lanka's first LinkedIn live talk show. And today it's episode number 51. Just imagine, I've been running this show for 51 weeks continuously. And today, uh, I don't have a guest today. You know that I always bring an expert here and interview. I'll tell you what could go wrong when you run uh, a talk show and you have a guest. Sometimes, uh, due to some a reason that is beyond the control of myself and the guest, sometimes guests may not be able to come alone, and you might get to know it. Maybe it could be, it has never happened to me where the guest calls me half an hour before the show and say, hey, look, Amita, I have an emergency, I'm not coming. No, it has never happened, but they tell me well in advance. But by that time, maybe my flyer is ready, my communication is ready, and then I have a brilliant way of handling it. I come by myself, and then I come and talk to you. So today is another day like that, where my intended guest had an emergency, and then of course he is going to come later on, maybe after a few weeks time, because my next week and the week after, around for about 3 weeks, my calendar is full. We already have agreed guests to come on the show. So while welcoming you on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and YouTube, let me talk about a little bit about myself. My name is Amit Gamage, you know that, and I'm an executive coach. I love coaching CXOs, people who are operating on the C level, and then I help uh, top executives as well as business owners to elevate their personal brand by working as a personal branding strategist. I have a large clientele from Sri Lanka and other countries where we very closely work for a period of time to improve their personal brands. Apart from that, I work with top sales organizations, especially in the B2B area, in developing sales skills of sales teams who cater to top-notch clients, organizations. Apart from that, I recently started working with a top software company. I'm part of a software company also, where we uh, work on automation. I'll talk about it later, but for the moment, let's start the show today. And the topic of the show is Customer Service Week. We know globally, International Customer Service Week is celebrated in the first week of October, and currently it is this week. And I thought maybe it's time that I talk about it because everybody is talking about it. But the difference here is I'm going to talk about a different side of the story. And for your information, I don't have an intention of running today's show for 1 hour. Most of the time, it is minimum 1 hour. It is little unstructured, but I have a set of things that I'm planning to discuss. Unless and otherwise, I get into a discussion with the viewers here. Let's say hi to few of our friends. We have Kasun Sachinta. Hi, Kasun. Thank you very much for coming. We have Tamit. Good evening, Tamit. Tamit and myself with another uh, close friend of mine. We are starting a Facebook show, a talk show to promote entrepreneurs and startups in Sinhala language on Facebook. So wait, you will get the information when the time is right. We have Viraj. Hi, Viraj. Good evening. We also have Chadika. Hi, Chadika. While you are studying for your PhD, you found some time to come and say hi to us. Yes, thank you. And then we have Darshana. Hi, Darshana. Thank you very much for coming. And we also have Dimutu, who is joining us. So today, Uh, Let me read out the detail that I had on the show schedule. Let's celebrate the unsung heroes who help companies run their businesses. Customer service jobs can be tough during normal times, but the pandemic has made things even harder. Service jobs require a lot of emotional labor, and it can be challenging to keep up with the fast paced and results driven work of interacting with customers directly. We as customers, we have a role to play than only highlighting the mistakes of the customer service professionals. Let's share some positive customer service experience to celebrate this customer service week. So I'm not going to focus on the customers, but rather I actually want to focus on those respectable individuals who are working in the front line, who are the service agents, who are the call center agents, who are the frontliners, the delivery guys, who are facing the customer. Even the frustration or the happiness of the customer is faced by them. If you ask me, the number of times social media or people talk about them on social media, mostly only when they find a mistake done by one of those customer care executives or agents or representatives. It's very rarely you find someone would go and appreciate what they do, especially in this part of the world. Right? If someone is going to record at a shopping mall, at a service center, it's most of the time, 98% of the time, it is about a negative customer experience. People are little reluctant to record and distribute or publish videos about great customer services. You need to appreciate these people without which the industries cannot operate. If you ask me who was running the economy during the pandemic, during the lockdown, it was the frontliners. Be it health, be it the forces, be it the supermarkets, be it the hospitals, it is the frontliners. Now, when it comes to hospitals, even doctors are supposed to be frontliners because they just jump into action. So, who is actually appreciating them? I do, and I know few personally because I get exposed to their content. But most of the time, right? Uh, tell me one forum that you have seen where the forum is dedicated to appreciate great work of customer service professionals. Here in this part of the world, I haven't come across. If you come across a thing like that, please let me know. I would like to be part of that group. But there are enough and more groups to highlight the wrongdoings or the mistakes or deliberate actions of those individuals who are not doing their job right. I understand the frustration. I have gone through them. Don't think that I haven't gone through experiences where the customer service agent would have been maybe a little uppish or arrogant or mistreating me as a customer. Yes, I have gone through them, but I have never taken them to social media. Of course, I have taken them to the organization. I have taken them to the supervisors. I have taken them to their managers, but I have never taken them to the social media. So maybe different people have different ways of handling things. Maybe this is my way of doing things. So I thought I would dedicate my show today to those great service professionals who are running the economy during the pandemic. Let's say hi to another friend of ours. Firstly, good evening. It's right time to talk about customer service experience with many persons. Yes, of course. So if you have any great customer care experience, please drop them here. I will read out them. Even if you have the organization name, it's perfectly all right, because this is what we need to be doing. Maybe what I am doing here is not the best option for many, but for me this is the best option. Talk about all the great positive experiences. Negative ones I'll deal with the organizations. Positive ones, so this is to dedicate to all the service professionals who are helping. Now at this moment, a telco is helping me to run this show. An IT company is helping me at this moment because my laptop is working. Think about, all the sophisticated gadgets I have here is running smoothly. And if something goes wrong tomorrow morning or today evening, they'll fix it back. We call them and they respond. Yes, I mean, that's how the world is running. So talking about the International Customer Service Week, we all know that all this started somewhere in 1990 or 1991 in the US, where they declare a customer service week. There could be a lot of things we could do on a daily basis, but I thought today I'm going to dedicate and talk about the great work they do. So I would like to ask you, have you watched a program, uh, maybe on Netflix and other places, called Undercover Boss, right? So in Undercover Boss, the CEOs of organizations, they go undercover to various branches, franchisees, and then they check how they treat the customers, how they run the operations. And not only they cover undercover, they discover, rather discover the mistakes, the wrongdoings. They also discover shortcomings of the organizations. When the service professionals do not have the tools, the systems to offer a great customer service to the customers, sometimes you just have to be there by yourself. I would like to receive any names of any CEOs of any Sri Lankan companies to who goes out and who generally do things like this, where I mean it may be difficult for a Sri Lankan CEO to go undercover because it's a small country and then you will know. But then whether you as a CEO, whether you would go to a flow and serve customers, I can tell you so many foreign or international or global level CEOs who would sit down with the other customer service agents and who would serve customers on the floor at least once in a while to know what's going on. If you can be with the customers rather than leading from somewhere else, leading from the boardroom or from your cubicle, you could actually leading from the front if you could be with the customer care representatives, then customer care agents, service agents. So if you know any CEOs who is doing that, drop me a message. Maybe we should go and interview him. It's a great it is going to be a great thing for the world to know how someone is helping these customer care professionals, these service professionals to do their job better. So talking about today's topic further, I'm going to talk about few things. Number one, who is in customer service? Sometimes we tend to forget who is in customer service. Who is there in the customer service? It is actually a fellow human being. Think about it. It is one of your friend, a family member, working as a customer service executive. So as I told you, I would like to dedicate this program to all the service providers, all those service professionals and frontline staff, including the call center agents and delivery agents, right? So it is the human beings who are there, who is serving us. So what happened during last few years, maybe 2 years with the pandemic. So let's look at their work culture. You think that they have the best service culture? Yes and no. No and yes. We know some organizations are full of bureaucracy, or they are 100% system driven. Nothing can be done outside the system, right? Sometimes maybe you are talking to someone and then after 5 minutes the call automatically gets cut or something like that would happen, and they are helpless. So in terms of cultures inside organizations, I'm talking to the business owners and those who are running the organization, CEOs, general managers, senior managers. Not every service professional is working in the best culture in their respective organizations. So sometimes you try to give the best service to the customers, but you are working in a toxic working culture that you and I don't see. Sometimes it is the immediate boss who is making your life miserable, but they come in front of us and they show a smile. Sometimes these frontliners don't earn a lot for the labor or the emotional labor that they do in front of us. So, don't you think that we need to celebrate them, respect them, appreciate what they do on a week like this, International Customer Service Week or Global Customer Service Week? Somebody has to do it. So, here I am doing it. I'm sure a lot of people are doing it, but then, let's amplify it. So the working cultures are not the best sometimes, but still they come and do a great job by way of serving us. And then the environment. Say for an example, they are reporting to work while the pandemic is on, while the lockdown is there. They get a special permit. Organization will get a special permit. Sometimes they don't have their own vehicles, but they report to work. It could be a pharmacy, it could be a hospital, it could be a telco, it could be a freight forwarding company, it could be even a bakery. But then we as customers, the first time when we get angry with them. We get frustrated with them. What we should not forget is they are also like us. They have family members. They also have to go back home. Now, we are in a hurry to go home. Probably that person who is serving maybe at 7 o'clock in the night is thinking about how am I going home now? Will there be buses today because it's the pandemic? But then we are only worried about ourselves, right? Now I'm putting ourselves or the customers into the hot seat at this moment. I know you will be unhappy about it, but then today's show is dedicated to all those great service professionals. Somebody has to do it here. I am do it with my family, with my LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube family. Yeah. So the environment has changed. Okay, let's talk about the technology side of it. You will say, Amita, there's enough and more technologies there to support what they do. No, don't think that they have the most sophisticated technology. Sometimes they operate with the oldest telephone system. Maybe the bot that they have installed is not working so well, so we get frustrated. And maybe they are answering so many calls. Imagine those call center agents who are working from home. They don't have those sophisticated systems at their fingertips, just like when they report to office. And there's a dog barking. Their personal networks at home are not the best. Then there is the bread van around. Think about it. All those difficulties are there. And then while with a calm and a quiet tone, they will talk to us. We want to check the balance. Our credit card is stolen. So many things, but they still serve us and get the economy to run. Think about it. What a great way of helping a country to move forward. If not for the frontline staff, if not for those service agents, if all the call centers are down today. Remember when Facebook was down, we all got panicked. Imagine if all these call center agents or the customer care professionals are not at work, economy will come to a standstill. It will not. If it is an engine, the engine will stall. It will stop working. So it's great to remember and appreciate, show our gratitude to those service professionals. So let's move on to the next point, right? Technology. They don't have the greatest technology. Sometimes yes. I know when I want to order a pizza, when I call, they greet me by the name, and they already know that I'm a vegetarian. That's such a sophisticated system, but not everybody will have access to that kind of systems, right? Think about the hospitals, right? Think about the pharmacies, think about the bakeries. Think about a bakery, no sophisticated system, one cash register, and then they just work like machines while showing us a great face, but they also have families, a lot of things that they have to undergo. So let's move on to the next point that I want to talk about it. I mean, you can, if you have a great customer experience, good one, great one, something different, please put it here. We can have a chat. Put it here with the name. You say I went to that bookshop, and then the book was not available, but this is how they found the book. It was a great experience. It's okay. Put the name here. Let's look at it, because we are here to share great experiences. Yeah. So let's move on to the next topic that I want to talk. So it's about respecting and taking care of the customer service staff of an organization. We as customers, how do we treat them? Sometimes people abuse them. Go and check those videos that they post on social media, right? Uh, Sometimes these days we know some of the products are not available freely, right? So they have been asked to give only one packet or one piece of that food or whatever that they sell, only one unit per customer. Sometimes customers go and fight, hey, look, this is not right, I want two pieces, 2 units. But then, it's the frontline staff, it's that cashier who is facing the difficulty. And sometimes we don't show any mercy, just throw our frustration. Maybe the frustration you have with the government, a frustration you have with your boss, with your own office, you you know, just put it on the cashier at a supermarket, right? So they are being abused, right? People use social media to humiliate, embarrass them, which shouldn't be the case unless and otherwise it's a very, very critical situation, right? It is important that organizations train these customer service executives or these professionals, and then they should have effective complaint handling systems, so that the customer care executive could quickly give him a resolution. Okay, it is being taken care of. This is the complaint number. Our organization will talk to you. So sometimes those kind of systems are not there. Especially go to a supermarket. So maybe the supervisor will have to come and talk to that person, but even supervisor cannot show the customer a proper sample or a proper system driven reference number or something like that to convince the customer, okay, it's been taken care of, you can go home now, our customer care department or somebody is going to talk to you. So we need to provide them along with the Training. So let's see the kind of trainings that may require. I know if I'm to talk about customer care skills required by a customer care professional, there would be many. But then looking at the pandemic and what they are going through, maybe they need, uh, as much as we need empathy, they also should be trained. They should be taught. They should be learning about empathy. And one of the most important thing, the whole world is talking about emotional intelligence. I think customer care professionals should be given enough knowledge and experience when it comes to emotional intelligence. They will handle any type of customer. They also should be taught stress management. If not, the stress that they undergo at workplace will be taken home. It shouldn't be the case. Why should they take the frustrations of the customers to their personal life? But then if they are not being trained on how to manage stress, because you never know what kind of a customer would come and appreciate their work or scold them. So you should be ready for any eventuality. Yeah, stress management, proactivity. Then they also should be trained about clear communication. How can they learn clear communication without having to have great misunderstandings? I mean, I have been working with many organizations, and most of the time, the kind of complaints that the maybe the customer care manager or the customer service manager or the CEO gets. Customers do write emails. I was not taken care of. They were not talking to me properly. So maybe the issue is with the ego. Maybe it's an issue with the respect that they show. Little things, but it could get escalated. So the service department should be trained on clear communication, patience. I mean, not only to be in the customer care department, I think even for you to stay at home or for you to be with your friends, you need to have patience. And especially these days, everybody is going through difficult time. So if you have patience, yes, then you will understand the other person. Flexibility, individual flexibility, and then desire to improve. We all have to improve because things are changing, the environment is changing, customers are changing. So if I'm going to be a top customer service professional, it is important that I have a desire to improve, I have a desire to learn. If I don't have that desire to learn, I will not be able to climb the ladder, get that promotion, become a manager where I would be looking after a bunch of service agents. These career progressions will come to a halt if I'm not willing to improve, right? You got to maintain your coolness. So there are a lot of soft skills that you need to be mastering. And then other skills like maybe if you could learn how to write a good email, good SMS, then your proficiency in various languages, computer skills, product knowledge, and most importantly, time management. These are some of the hard skills that a customer care executive should be mastering. Now, I'm talking about the skill side of the customer service professional. Let's talk about the organizations and their leadership. What do you think? Not every organization is giving a leadership, a proper leadership to customer care unit, customer service unit. It's like this: if the top management is serious about customer care, the whole organization will be serious about customer care. So that kind of organization will receive a great customer care, the customers of that organization. But if the top management is not so serious about customer care, if they are not bothered, if they are just interested in selling their products, then what happens? Of course, there will be a natural death one day when there is a proper competitor to that organization. That organization is not going to thrive. But what will happen to the customers? Customers will have a very bad service from that organization. Imagine the plight of those people who are in the front line. Those frontliners, customer care agents, customer service professionals are under constant pressure from the customers, because when the top management is not serious about providing a great service to the customers, they are also not serious about providing training, tools, systems. Maybe they are running behind other KPIs without having to look at customer service. So if your employees are unhappy, can they make customers happy? So there could be a lot of barriers like red tape, bureaucracy. You will have this poor system, so you can blame on the system. Gaps in the empowerment, you have not empowered them. So they have to always wait for their immediate manager's approval. So some organizations, they don't have a customer service philosophy. So when you don't have a customer service philosophy, what would happen? People take random decisions. Even the frontliners, customer service professionals, they do various things. So customers will experience different kind of services. It's not the same answer you get because you lack a philosophy. Sometimes I get a lot of invitations. Amita, can you come and train our staff? Then I ask them, can I have your customer service philosophy? They say, we don't have anything, you know what is best, Amita. I said, yeah, I can train them. But after 1 week, once that motivation is gone, they will be back again to the same level. So with some customers, we sit down, I provide them consultancy and we prepare customer service philosophy so that even if there is a newcomer, then they know how to take it forward. I don't have to go and train them each time. So some leaders are not worried about customers. It could be a divisional leader, it could be the CEO of the company. So there's broken communication links internally. Sometimes lack of processes, or processes are there, but they are manual driven. You have to send an email and get an approval. And imagine someone receiving 200 emails daily, and this particular approval email is just one out of that 200. And by the time the manager checks it and approves it, maybe half of the day is already gone, and there is one unhappy customer, and there's one unhappy service agent. So lack of processes and lack of automated processes also could lead to problems. Things like depending entirely on emails. So the pressure is on the service agents. No wonder sometimes they leave the organization, and then the top management wonder what happened. Why are these people leaving the organization? Simply because the systems are not there to support, tools are not there to support them. So let me uh, take a brilliant model that we heavily use. It's known as service profit chain, right? So this is operating strategy and service delivery system for organizations. Now, if I'm to go to that model and key areas of that model: workplace design, job design, employee selection, and the development of employees, rewards, recognitions, and then tools to serve customers. This will define the internal service quality. This will make the employee happy, employee satisfied. So a satisfied employee will be committed. Think about it. Great internal service quality will make a committed and a satisfied employee, then that will lead to employees staying in the organization, employee retention, and then productivity of the employees will go up because they are a bunch of happy employees. Now, this will be the foundation for you to create the external service value. When the external service value is great because you have a bunch of very happy internal customers or internal employees, customers are happy, customers could be served with the best options available. What happens when the customer is happy? The customer's loyalty go up. Customer would go and recommend others. Due to that, revenue will go up because these customers will come again and again. Profitability will go up. Your top line and bottom line would be very, very positive. And customers will continue to come to your organization. So that's the kind of things that the organization could do, provide the service teams with the necessary tools, reward recognitions, training tools, and everything. A bunch of happy customer service professionals will look after customers and make sure that the customers are happy. I repeat, unhappy bunch of employees cannot make the customers happy. We need to realize this. So let me go to my last few points to elaborate. True recognition is required to these service professionals who are working to make sure that the organizations are meeting their business objectives, making sure that the country and the economy is meeting those country specific economic goals. So, looking at these true recognitions, what do we mostly know? True recognition. We go to an organization, we see customer service executive of the month. We see somebody's name is there, photograph is there. But are organizations doing enough beyond recognizing and having their photograph displayed so that the customers can see it? What are they doing it? Is there a true appreciation? Are they sending them for separate trainings or separate incentives are given? How do you encourage the rest of the employees, service professionals to follow those top ones, right? So you need to celebrate them internally. We hardly see them on social media. We very rarely see somebody's photo on social media from an organization and say, hey, look, this person has served a customer in a completely special way. We want to recognize him. Do you recognize that person? Have you seen him in our supermarket, in our bank, in our organization? It's very rarely that we see those kind of recognitions. I am not saying that organizations are not looking after their customer service professionals. They do. But I think we could emphasize that they could do more. We as customers, we have to do more to look after them. And organizations also have to do more to look after them. If you want the organization to survive, if you want the economy to run, we need to make sure that the frontliners, service agents, customer care executives, it could be a nurse, it could be a security guard, it could be someone else, someone who is serving at the bakery, someone who is at the supermarket, someone who is answering your call at a call center. They all are in this difficult job of looking after the customers. So think about maybe a mechanic who is repairing a car. He has to play dual role. He has to fix the car, and then he also is responsible to answer sometimes, not the service advisor sometimes, to the customer saying, don't worry, sir, the car will be all right. So sometimes they play a dual role. Not only they do the job, imagine if you want to test your blood and tomorrow you are going to a hospital. The lady who would be taking your blood will have to do two jobs. She has to perform her duty and she has to smile with me, greet with me, talk to me nicely. See, it's not easy. That's emotional labor plus her skills to do her job. So let's recognize them, let's appreciate them. So, my humble request to you and me who are customers, please, whenever you see a great story, whenever you have a great experience, make sure you take them to social media, tag those organizations, and give them a blast and say, hey, look, this is a fantastic customer service that I experienced. Let the world know, let the world celebrate it. That's the best thing that we could do. The more you do it, more and more people would want to do it. Instead of taking that bad experience to the social media, it's up to you. But then my recommendation, let's celebrate, let's take more and more positive stories to the country. Let's bring them to the table. Let bring them to the front of the stage. Let them be heard and let more and more people do it. So, with that, I would like to complete today's session, but I have to. Okay, let me see whom I'm going to give my book today. Yeah, so maybe today the book will be taken by Darshana Vimalaratna. Darshana. So I always pick somebody and a book courtesy of Pick a Book. Pick a Book is always coming forward and offering a book. The courtesy of Pick a Book, go to www.pickabook.club. So today it's Darshana Vimalaratna who is getting the book, and those who haven't received your books yet, because we had a 1 month of lockdown, those who haven't received your books will receive them in the days to come. Now their operation is back to normal. So thank you very much for joining me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Next week and week after, we have two great uh, guests ready to come and have a great discussion here. I'll let you know. You will see the flyers flying out soon with those names and their credentials and the topic. Please do join next week and be part of this conversation. Let's take it forward. Let's grow together. Thank you very much. Stay safe and good night.